Which marathon is the? Here we go. How many Americans, men and women, do you think are going to finish top three in the marathon? Going from between London, Berlin, Chicago, Boston, New York City.
How many can finish top three? Well, let's just start in Chicago. Two to three could finish top three in the women's race because if Chip Negich doesn't finish or has a bad
Yeah.
day, you could. But at the minimum, I think it would be two. Obviously,
Two.
someone could be added to the race. Rupp on the men's side could, but
Rupp
that's
three.
a longer shot. When we go to New York, men's side more of a long shot, but potentially one. Women's side, I think you could get one. Boston, maybe one in each if we're talking top three. So the only one that you feel really good about is Chicago women's field. That's one you feel really good about.
But you could see seven Americans being on the podiums at major marathons this fall.
That would be the very, 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 very high end. I mean, that's the max. Because I think it's not crazy for Emily Sisson to finish on the podium or Jordan Hesse to finish on the podium. I get the Boston men's would probably be it is a longer shot, pretty big, pretty like it's much harder basically for the men than the women in the Boston Marathon. I mean, just looking at the fields and who's in there. So, yeah, that would be the very high end. But I only feel really good. I only feel really good about. We just did this thing where we did the Olympics and we totally overshot the American medal count. So I'm not going to be like, there's 7 guys and 7 women who are going to finish on the podium. The only race I feel really good about is Chicago, just because it's mostly Americans on the women's side.
Okay, I'm going to set the over-under at 3.5.
3.5? I'll go over. I think they'll get 4.
Yeah.
I think they'll get 4 because I think they'll get 2 in. I think they'll get 2 in the Chicago women's field, and then between all the other races, I think they'll be able to cobble together 2 more.
2 more.
Yeah, I think they'll be able to get 2 more. Because you look at, as you mentioned, the New York City Marathon field. If Bekele's not there, then things open up, and Jared Ward has been knocking on the door for forever. It wouldn't surprise me if Jared Ward could snag a 3rd place. That's not crazy. Let me ask you this question while we're doing questions.